Empire and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Today I'm going to be showing you a nearly finished version of Mass Effect. Our release date for North America has been announced as November, and we're just doing polish and minor bug fixing now. So this is a great representation of what the experience is going to be for a player who's playing the game.
What's the release date for Europe?
That has not been announced yet, but I've been told that there will be announcements regarding that in the next 2 weeks. The save games we're going to use today are actually my save games for me playing the game, and I'm going to try and give you a good overview of the kinds of gameplay that players of Mass Effect will experience. So we'll start off in the Citadel. Now, to give you a little bit of the backstory of Mass Effect, humanity has just gained the ability to travel through the stars in the last 20 years or so. There's a huge pan-galactic civilization out there, though, and humanity is now part of that, but people don't really trust humans yet. We're very new, we're seen as being quite aggressive, so not everyone likes humans. Your actions actually will have a huge impact on how humans are perceived by other races. So if you are brutal, they will see humans as brutal. If you are compassionate, they will see humans as compassionate. You are also the first human Spectre. Spectres are elite special agents that report directly to the Galactic Council, and they are not bound by any laws. Your mission is to preserve galactic peace at any cost, and you will do whatever you need to do to follow that mission. At this point, we're in pursuit of a rogue agent, a former Spectre named Saren. He's allied himself with a machine race called the Geth, and we believe that he's trying to wipe out all life in the galaxy. So stopping him is our top priority, and nothing can get in the way of that. At this point in the story, we've just killed a man named Fist. However, this gentleman, Rex, who you can see I have targeted, he was also paid to kill Fist. And since we got to the job first, he's pretty angry with us. Let's see how this turns out.
You, human, you the one they call the shepherd.
Now, this looks like a pre-rendered cinematic, but this is all actually being rendered in real time. This is our conversation system. You have the option to select from a number of responses as indicated on the bottom. Each response listed is a summary of what's going to be said, but you actually get to hear what you really say when you pick the option.
Is there a problem?
The name's Rex. The Shadow Broker paid me a lot of money to get rid of this. You got it first.
Taking care of Fist is part of my investigation.
When I get paid to do a job, I promise.
I don't like where this is going.
If I didn't finish this job, Shepard, you did. Saw the pain in his door.
Bounty hunters don't just go around paying off people to take their contracts.
I won't take credit for someone else's work. I transferred the payment into your account. I like the way you handled this. Now I hear you're going after Sarah. I was thinking I should come along.
The Krogan's more trouble than they need.
I don't cause problems, I solve them. Go after Sarah and you'll be glad I'm around.
You're a bounty hunter. What do you get out of going after Sarah?
I'm not in this for the money. I want to be where the action is. There's a storm coming, and you and Sarah are right in the middle of it.
Why me? Sarah's already got a lot of Krogan working for her.
Those aren't Krogan. They're servants. They grovel at Saren's feet to lick his boots, trading their freedom for promises of wealth and power. My people were a proud species once. Some of us still remember that. I won't bow down to Saren and the others.
We'll take you with us, Rex.
Smart move, Shepard.
So Rex has agreed to join our squad. This is the squad selection interface where we can select from all the available squad members. You'll see that there's an unavailable squad member right now. So I can add Rex to my squad. There he is. Now, we've learned a lot about Rex from this conversation. He's a bounty hunter. He's a killing machine, but he also has a code of honor. He paid us for killing Fist because he wouldn't take money for a job he didn't do. And now he wants to help us take out Saren, which is great. We need all the help we can get. Since Rex is a member of our squad, we can now customize him. This is our character customization interface. simple but very effective. You spend points in a skill to become better at that skill. For example, spending points in assault rifle means that I'll be more accurate and do more damage with my assault rifle. But as you spend points, you also unlock special abilities. Here I've unlocked overkill. Now I've unlocked shotgun. Now I've unlocked carnage. So how every player spends their points is going to affect things. Your version of Rex will not be the same as mine because you'll customize them in a different way. There are also non-combat skills. The player can put points into charm and intimidate. What this does is this actually unlocks new dialogue options that you wouldn't normally have. For example, you might be in a situation where someone's trying to kill you, but you might be able to intimidate them out of it as a non-violent way of resolving the situation. Or maybe someone is paying you off for doing your job for them, but you might be able to charm them into giving you more money. In this way, players who are interested in things other than combat can invest in here to get more options. I'm going to jump ahead to a later save game now. The point I'm loading, Rex has already been in your party for quite some time, and he's a valued member of your crew. He's proven himself time and time again. Here we are on the Normandy. The Normandy is your spaceship. It's a prototype human ship with the absolute latest technology, including a stealth drive that no other ship has in the galaxy. The crew answers to you. You decide where the Normandy goes. It's your ship. The Normandy is really cool, and it's actually really big. You can explore it and talk to people, and doing so will reward you. You can, for example, find quests by talking to people. You can also buy equipment. There's a lot to do here. Today we're going to use the galaxy map. Now, the galaxy map is our solution to navigating interstellar space. For example, right now we're in the Hong system. We can go to an individual planet like this, and the option to land it here. So if we wanted to, we could land on this planet right now. Backing up a level, this is the cluster level. Here we have the Hong system, and here we have a number of other systems. We could visit any one of these systems, and they would contain planets for us to explore.
How many main quest planets are there?
How many?
Main quest planets.
I don't think I can answer that question directly, but can you ask me again at the end, and then I'll explain a little bit more about how it works. This is the galaxy level. Each of these blue circles represents a cluster. As I said before, each cluster contains systems, and each system contains planets. So there's a huge number of planets that you can investigate. Some players are going to be interested in explorations, and some players aren't. The choice is up to you. While you're playing Mass Effect, you have the choice always to go on the direct main quest trying to stop Saren. Or if you want to, you can go on side quests. For example, you might get a distress call while you're pursuing Saren. At that point, you have to make a choice. Do you want to respond to this distress call and help people out? Or is it more important for you to get and stop Saren as soon as possible? The choice is up to you. Today we're going to go to Vermeer. Now, the reason we're going to Vermeer is we've intercepted a transmission from some Solarian agents that were also looking for Saren. The transmission was garbled, so we don't know exactly what's going on, but we know they're on Vermeer, and we know it has something to do with Saren. So let's go investigate.
Commander, I'm reading a signal. Must be our Solarian.
Check out those defense towers. Drop the Mako. We'll go in hot and take them out.
This is all being rendered in real time.
You can take up to 3 members, 2 members.
Two. Got a clean drop, Commander.
Stay out of range and continue evasive maneuvers until I bring those AA towers down.
I know the drill. Meet you at the camp once those towers are offline. Joke around.
want to go to the Solarian camp, but there aren't any aircraft towers, and if we try and go there directly, the Normandy could be shot and destroyed. So we're going to go in the Mako, which is our personal all-terrain combat vehicle. The Mako is heavily armed. It has a minigun, and it also has a cannon. You can zoom in on opponents. You've also got jump jets. The jump jets are useful. They can help you get to inaccessible areas, and they're also just pretty fun. Oh, poor crap. Now, Vermeer is a huge, huge planet. We don't have time to go through all of it, so I'm going to jump us right to one of the coolest fights. Combat in Mass Effect is a combination of vehicle combat and squad-based combat. I chose this fight because it has a little bit of both. Now, before we get right into the action, I want to show you the Mass Effect equipment system. Equipment is one of the ways you can customize your character. For example, here I found a shotgun, and it's way better than my current shotgun. It does more damage, and it also has a cryo upgrade installed. That means that when I shoot enemies, I can actually freeze them solid. The upgrade system is just another way in which you can customize your armor and your weapons in Mass Effect. For example, I could install an incinerate mod, or I could install a radioactive mod. It's up to the player to choose what they want to use. Also, when I equip this, if you watch, you'll see that it actually updates the model in real time. So you can instantly see what your equipment will look like. Another thing I want to show you is something we haven't actually shown to journalists before today, and it's the talent wheel. The talent wheel is your instant access to all of the powers and abilities of your squad. Mass Effect is a role-playing game that has a ton of different powers and abilities. So we map all those onto the wheel, and you're then able to access them very, very quickly. You can actually launch up to 3 powers at once. So for example, if I was facing 3 opponents, I could tell Rex to cast throw on one of them, I could ask Gareth to use sabotage on another, and then I could use warp on the third. So this gives you an immense amount of tactical control. While you have the talent wheel up, the game is paused, so you have the option to assess the situation and issue your orders. We feel that this is really important because we don't just want Mass Effect to be something for really twitchy FPS gamers. Gamers who are more used to a slower pace will be able to pause the game whenever they want, figure out what they want to do, and then do it. On the other hand, if you are an FPS gamer and you don't want to pause, you don't have to. You can play a soldier. Soldiers have very few powers that need to be activated. Most of their abilities make their weapons and armor more powerful. So you can be a soldier and play it just like an FPS. Let's get in the Mako. Here's the anti-aircraft tower. Not easy, but you can use jumping to avoid the clouds like I did right there. Froze that guy solid with my cryo mod.
There must be a way to shut that gun down.
So like most FPSs, Mass Effect has a cover system. You can duck in behind cover, and then kind of jump out and shoot at your opponent. Enemies use cover as well, of course. And so does your squad. Able to dodge a rocket there by popping back into cover.
Return the fire?
Yes, you can't hurt your squad. Okay. Your squad fights independently from you. You don't have to give them commands, but if you want to, you can issue tactical orders to them using the D-pad to attack specific targets or go to specific places. So here we have a Geth Prime. Geth Prime are really tough. Usually you fight them in the vehicle, but right now we don't have that luxury. If he hits me once, I will die. This is a great opportunity to show off the value of the talent wheel. Using the talent wheel, I'm going to be able to unload a ton of powers on this guy really fast. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll send my squad in. Great, let's unload some abilities on this guy. There we go. One hit would have killed me, but using my talents I was able to neutralize him so my squad and I could shoot him dead. Now, you don't have to play like this. If you are playing a soldier and you're more of an FPS gamer, you could rely more on cover. And you know what? A soldier wouldn't die for one hit from that guy because they're tough, they wear heavy armor, they have more health, they can survive a lot better than I can. Now I can cut the power to the AA towers and we can proceed. Base is a little ways away, and also there's enemies in between it, so I'm going to use the save game to jump directly to the base. Now this is the point I mentioned where I said I was going to show you guys a big spoiler. I'm going to ask that you not report on the specific things that I'm doing after this point. Everything up to this point is fair game, but there's a major story arc that I'm about to reveal, and I just don't want to spoil that for any of the players of the game. So this is Mass Effecta, a huge role-play game from BioWare. You're going to meet really interesting characters. You're going to have to make really, really tough decisions. You've got a whole galaxy to explore and a really tough opponent. Any questions?
Yes. How many planets are in the game?
Right. Now I can give you the answer to that. First of all, I don't actually know how many planets are in the game. I think we're still deciding that, essentially. We're going to have as many planets as we can fit in that are up to our quality standards. So, but I do know that you're going to be able to explore tons and tons of the galaxy. So there's going to be on the order of 100 planets for you to explore, one way or the other. Some by landing, some by scanning.
And will there be new planets adding later in the game via Archival Flight?
We haven't announced our plans for downloadable content, but we're very ambitious in that regard, and adding planets is definitely something that could happen.
In your ratings you got partial nudity. So will there be any erotic scenes in the game?
I don't want to give away any spoilers, but you've read the ESRB report, obviously, so you can draw your own conclusions there. Everyone knows that BioWare likes having romance plots, so...
Will there be any interaction between your crew, like in Plenty Torment?
Sorry, any which?
Any interaction between your crew?
What do you mean by direction?
Interaction.
Oh, interaction. Yeah. Yes, definitely. When you have conversations, your crew members will make comments, and they may make comments directly at each other. For example, Rex and Garrus don't like each other because the Turians were actually the soldiers that delivered the genophage and infected the Krogan with it. So even though Garrus wasn't directly involved, Rex and Garrus don't like each other because of that. They have, in a sense, a history.
The whole area
You haven't seen it all, no. We use save games to get through a lot of stuff.
How much is that to explore?
Well, it really depends on the player. Like, people who explore very thoroughly will obviously spend more time on it. You definitely are expected to spend several hours on each of the major planets.
How long is the game? Main quest?
The main quest?
Yeah.
Well, first I just want to say, it's actually really hard to do just the main quest. Like, for example, you might be going after Saren and then you'll get a distress call, and you have to make a choice right then. Are you going to respond to this distress call, maybe saving 50 people, or do you say, sorry, I can't help you, I'm trying to save the entire galaxy, you're not that important? So if you're like that, if you're constantly just turning down the other quests that are thrown at you and the other options that are thrown at you, it'll still probably take you about 20 hours to finish the game. We think most players will investigate at least some of the side content. If you enjoy side content, if you enjoy exploring the universe, you can easily spend 50 hours or more playing Mass Effect. And that's just for the first playthrough. There's a lot of reasons why you would want to do multiple playthroughs of Mass Effect. You can choose a different character class. And as I discussed so far, different character classes fight in very different ways. So you might be, say, a soldier the first time, but then say, I want to be an adept. I want to use lots of cool biotic powers. Also, the henchmen you take along with you change the way you experience things. So doing the same planet with different henchmen is like a new experience. You can also customize your character. If you play, for example, as a female Commander Shepard, then the VO for every line is going to be 100% different than when you were a male Shepard. So that's just another way in which we encourage replay value. You can also customize your appearance. We're not featuring that today, but we have a full customization engine. Every face in Mass Effect is custom created by artists, and we give the same tools to the player to customize their own face.
The corporation?
No. Mass Effect is a single-player RPG. We wanted to deliver the absolutely best single-player RPG next-gen experience, and that's what we focused on.
Game engine?
We've modified the Unreal Engine, so we licensed that from Epic, and we've heavily modified it. I personally believe that this is the best version of the Unreal Engine that's out there, and we've made optimizations for performance and graphics that other Unreal games simply won't have.
There's a book which story the book takes place before the game.
Yeah.
There will be another media. It's not if it's going to be franchise or just one game.
We're really interested in growing Mass Effect as just a world. We know that there's going to be players out there who are going to read more Mass Effect books. They're going to want to play more Mass Effect games. In the long run, who knows? We could go anywhere with Mass Effect. We're really excited because this is our own story. This is our own IP that we're creating. So we have total creative freedom, and we're going to take it as far as we can. Okay.
Are there any for PS3 version, or is it Xbox exclusive or time exclusive?
Mass Effect is an Xbox exclusive game, and that's all I can say about that right now.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.